I feel the same way about Mark Latham that Labour probably does. I can't believe he's been one of us and wish he'd just go away. By one of us, I mean men. Decent men. He doesn't deserve that title. Today, he has said that domestic violence isn't about patriarchy or toxic masculinity, it's about socio-economics. This myth he's peddling is not just willfully ignorant but downright dangerous. Violence against women is driven by one thing, and one thing primarily: gender inequality. It is absolutely about toxic masculinity and patriarchy. Of course Latham will claim it isn't. He's a patriarch and a toxic male. The necessary social context for violence against women to occur happens within a toxic patriarchy, where men's control of decision-making limits women's independence. Where disrespect towards women and male peer relations emphasize aggression. Where a condoning or normalizing of violence against women and stereotyped constructions of masculinity and femininity set all the awful conditions for violence to happen. Latham, deep down, knows this. Latham knows this, but it doesn't fit his. So he uses his Sky News appearances to trot out unsubstantiated nonsense. Many would ask, why, then, give his comments credence by responding to them here? 2 reasons. First, violence against women is preventable if we challenge the condoning of it, correct the misreporting of it, and promote and normalize gender equality in public life. In other words, call him out on his bullshit. He won't just go away. Second, Latham won't just go away. He's no longer a pathetic troll, the type who operates from their mother's basement, hiding behind a cowardly and pathetic Twitter handle to troll abuse survivors like Rosie Betty. He was easier to dismiss then. He's now running for office again, in the upcoming NSW election. He's a legislative council candidate for One Nation. In his interview, he said, "The demonization of men is out of control. Fair-minded men think it has gone way too far. It's time to call him out." Can every fair-minded man in Australia start by calling this out, please? Do you really want this man to speak for you? It shouldn't just be left solely to women to, time and again, respond to this vitriolic stirring. What is out of control is the domestic violence problem in this country. On average, 1 woman a week is murdered by her current or former partner, and 1 in 3 Australian women have experienced physical violence since the age of 15. That's what you call gone way too far, Mark. In terms of the socio-economic factors that, he claims, trump the patriarchal and toxic ones, Latham claims that statistics actually show for every middle-class man involved in a family or domestic dispute, there are 10 in a public housing estate and 25 in a remote indigenous community. So if you want to look at where the problem is heavily concentrated, it's not about patriarchy or toxic masculinity, it's about a socio-economic factor, and it's in indigenous communities. This is more complex than Latham would have us believe. Socio-economic factors do play a role. Those middle-class men are inflicting violence on women who are less visible in the system. Women with a greater access to resources like money, a job, support from friends and family, are more able to escape escalating family violence earlier. The ones who can't are the women with no income, often due to male financial control, the women who pack out the full to the brim refuges. The refuge is their last option. It means becoming homeless. If women with greater means have other options, they take them, and disappear from the system and the stats. Which, as we know, are already appalling. Domestic violence does not discriminate. Jackie Watt, CEO of Note to Violence, told news.com.au, anyone can be affected by the impacts of family violence, as gender inequality affects all women and children, not only a pocket of people living in low socio-economic areas. To echo Rosie Betty, it doesn't matter how nice your house is, or how wealthy you are. Domestic and family violence is driven by men believing that they have the right to control women and children. Latham claims that this supposed demonization of men is driven by some left feminists more about the propaganda than helping women in need. Yes, all men. I'm the only male on the Walkley Hour Watch 2019 Fellowship, devised to improve the media coverage of violence against women in Australia. I don't feel demonized. I feel galvanized. I'll call out the Lathams wherever and whenever they pop up, and I encourage other men to join me. Yes, all men. One of my peers on the fellowship, News Corp journalist Sherelle Moody, independently runs the Red Heart campaign, which counts murder and manslaughter in Australia. She points out that 2 women were killed by men in 24 hours this week. In a single week last year, 6 women were killed by men in Australia. Let's not feed that monster myth that a violent man is that different in demographics from you. He could be any race, any class, and he could well appear to be that perfect neighbor, but appearances are as deceptive as Mark Latham's dodgy statistics book. Yes, all men are capable of inflicting violence. Improving socioeconomic conditions won't resolve this problem. Achieving true gender equality will. Gary Nunn is a freelance journalist and Walkley Hour Watch Fellowship 2019 recipient. At Gary Nunn 1. If you or someone you know is affected by domestic violence or sexual assault, please call 1-800-RESPECT 1-800-737-732. If you are concerned about your behavior and would like support and help, please call the Men's Referral Service 1-300-766-491 or head to mtv.org.au to chat online.